Welcome.
Welcome back to your favorite podcast of all.
Yeah, the best podcast ever made. Welcome to Big Town Improv. I'm Josh Pilch.
I'm Jesse Moriarty. This is both subjectively and objectively the best podcast ever done, because Big Town Improv is a very special sort of podcast. Isn't that right, Josh?
Oh yeah, this is an improvised podcast. I'm enjoying this like affirmation thing we're kind of doing. We're like, puffing ourselves up. Confidence is contagious. People believe you when you are confident.
Yes, and
they'll believe this description of the podcast, which is, this is an improvised podcast. To start off, we're going to have some conversation, tell some true stories, and from that, we'll draw some inspiration to do short, improvised comedic scenes. That's the first part of the show. And Jesse, what happens in the next part of the show?
After that, we are going to do a long-form scene based off either some more random words or possibly some other stimuli, and it's going to be a long-form scene that takes up the entire second part of the podcast. It's going to visit multiple characters and locations, and it's going to be basically a full-length drama for you, the listener.
For you, and it's going to be awesome because this is the best podcast ever made.
And do you know what, Josh?
What?
You're the best podcast co-host ever.
Thank you, but I don't know how that could be because... Well, you're the best podcast co-host ever.
Well, we can't both be. One of us must be better than the other.
That's true. Well, we're 1 and 2. We'll figure it out by the end, which is which.
Yeah, we'll let you know at the end of the episode who was the better of the two.
Right. Now, the only way that could make this better is if we could add into the mix the best guest, the best podcast guest ever.
Yeah, but Josh, that's really unlikely because
Jesse, I have news for you.
Yes?
We've got a very special, the most special guest. They are a artist, a comic book artist, an illustrator, teacher. They do it all. They're and a friend.
Oh.
It's Newt Warner. Hi, Newt.
Hello.
Hello, Newt. Welcome to the podcast. I'm a little bit of flutter because in this month's issue of podcast guest rankings,
Yeah.
Newt Warner got the top spot.
Number
They
one.
are the best podcast guest there is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Sort of offensive to our previous guests.
They didn't make it on the Billboard ranking this month, but they might in future rankings. We don't know. There's a lot of factors in how they judge this sort of thing.
Oh, wow.
It's true.
I'm not sure how I got all the points, but I'm very excited to win top.
Yeah, congratulations. Real honor.
Yeah.
Now,
So-
we usually at this point we tell some stories, but I did want to ask about. It's funny, as if I don't talk to you every week. I did want to ask you about your current situation, which is interesting. You're not here in the U.S. of A. where Jesse and I are.
No, I'm not.
You're in Japan.
Yeah. Specifically Ibaraki Prefecture. So
Yeah.
go
Very
Ibaraki.
Go Ibaraki.
Yeah.
And can I ask what brought you to Japan?
Well, what brought me to Japan is the JET program to teach English inside of Japanese classrooms.
Fascinating.
It's very interesting.
This is the fascinating, interesting things like this are what got you the top spot. Because,
Oh
Yeah.
most people don't have fascinating tidbits like that.
They don't teach even a little bit.
Oh.
Not even, and they're not even near Japan.
Yeah.
My
I'm not
gosh.
even near Japan.
And you know Josh from college, is that not correct?
Yes. Like many
Which-
others, I met Josh at SCAD.
Yes, like Jesse, who also met me at
Yes,
SCAD.
I was there too.
Yes.
It's a large institution. Listeners.
Yes.
Have you? There are a lot of people who attended in our year.
Yeah.
So,
Yes. I did.
so yes.
No, I'm sorry. Go on if you had something to say.
Well, I was promised a good story from this, so
Yes,
I'm gonna-
we brought you on for a story. Well, I was talking to you at some point about having you on this, and you told me that you really wanted the random word to be a certain word,
Yes.
if that was the inspiration.
Yeah.
I like that.
But you know what I say? I say we bypass the random words. If you got a good story, what was the word you were hoping would come up?
I guess very specifically, maybe like outdoor or like squirrel.
Josh, I understand where you're coming from, but I'm a bit of a stickler on the big town format,
Yeah.
so I am going to insist that we use the random word generator, and I'm pulling it in.
All right. Oh no, this is a big
Okay.
surprise for
Activating
me.
it.
All right, got my
Let's see
fingers
what's
crossed.
on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, our random words for this episode are outdoor and squirrel.
No
Oh,
way!
what? What are the odds?
That's so crazy.
Probably fairly infinitesimal, yes.
Today it's just going all my way.
Truly. Well, dude, either of those words inspire a memory of any kind?
Yeah, very specific memory.
Please.
So this is a story about a time in my first job when I moved to Florida. So I was working at Universal Studios, specifically Flight of the Hippogriff in the Harry Potter section.
Right.
And so I was doing the rounds through the line, and it's sort of like a safety thing to make sure no one's like climbing over stuff or like trying to jump to where the roller coaster goes through. And I was walking behind this woman, and we were getting to this sort of like overhang part where the guests like kind of file through, and this squirrel was kind of hanging out on it, and it jumps on top of this lady. Like, it jumps on her, and then jumps on me, and lands, like, right on my shoulder, and then it jumps into the, sort of, enclosure area with all these trees and stuff, and, like, I was just like, what even happened? And everyone's like, wow, like, everyone in line is like, this is the most exciting thing! And, and so I asked this guest, like, oh, you know, are you okay? Like, this squirrel just kind of jumped on you. And she was like, oh, it's fine. It's all good and whatever. But unfortunately, she did come back and try to make a big scene about it and trying to get a bunch of free stuff from the park. She seemed so cool, but
After
then
the fact.
came back and was like, oh, I realized I could use this to maybe get a lot of free stuff. But what was the other cool part of this story was it kind of made me famous for about a week, and people were like, oh, I kind of became the squirrel person. And squirrels in general also became like very popular. It was nonstop squirrel topics. and people would come up to me, not know my name, and I don't know who they are, but they would say things like, "Oh, you're the squirrel person," or somebody I remember just said, "Oh, squirrel," like, they just, like, the only thing they could think of after they saw me was squirrel, like.
You are squirrel.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it because you were working at a like high-end theme park, which people pay a lot of money to get into, and the most exciting thing was this extremely common animal.
Right. Yeah, that's so funny. Wow, squirrels are. I imagine that squirrel just was like disoriented and was like in a place that it, doesn't really belong. But like it is scary because if a squirrel comes at a person, that usually means they're rabid.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. I mean, any animal that jumps on you is probably not a good thing.
They don't normally like that.
That does explain, because we were all kind of upset because Universal Studios did send a team of like maybe exterminators or like animal control through to try and collect all the squirrels, and we were like, but why? Like, it was cool. Like, the squirrels are cool. But if they thought it was rabid, then maybe.
Yeah.
But
I think it's likely that they thought it was rabid. Either that or they were jealous that it was taking attention away from their fun rides.
Yeah.
Which they spend millions of dollars on. And they could have just had a paddock of squirrels that they throw at people.
Yeah.
Right.
That's an amazing story.
That's a great story. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
That's why you're the greatest guest of all time.
Oh.
Greatest of all time.
And I owe it all to this perhaps rabid or very disoriented squirrel.
I think it's safe to say disoriented because it ran away.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you get to keep your rank, but next week we do have the squirrel on. That's
gonna be
okay,
that's gonna be a big get for us.
Yeah.
Well, hearing a story from a point of view from a squirrel would be very exciting. And
It told me that it is hoping that the random words generated are indoors or employee at Universal Studios.
well,
Yeah.
hopefully it also just has a very lucky day, like I did.
We'll see.
Possible, yeah. This might have been his highlight.
Before we wrap up the conversation with you, do you want to tell people where they can like find you online and like projects you're working on? I know you're constantly putting out like comics and stuff, especially right now, I feel, which are very funny and cool.
Oh, thank you. Well, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Newt's Cauldron, and I just finished uploading a comic called Dental Dentistries, which is just a kind of a silly comic about somebody who has a toothache and they have to resort to going to a very kind of like different dental institution. And the current comic I'm coming out with is called Stump And Sammy. So Stump is a tiny wizard who is on a quest to become big. So him and his pet cat Sammy are just going on an adventure to try and make a Stump's dream of reality, essentially.
It's cool.
Now, Newt, it sounds to me almost like the comics you make are wacky. Is that accurate?
Yeah. A little bit.
Okay.
Fun, a little bit
Good. I'm a fan
They
of wacky.
admitted it. Shit, they admitted it.
Thank you so much. Now,
Wait, where do you find the comics?
So I upload my comics to Tapas, which is
which is an app if you don't have it. It's
Yeah.
a great app.
and I will upload links to the comic on my Twitter and Instagram as well.
Great.
So
So Newt's Cauldron is where to get that.
yes.
Nice. Excellent.
Also,
Yes.
line webtoons as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Now, before we let Newt go, Josh,
Yeah.
I have a question. Newt, this is a long shot, I admit, but do you happen to have or know a bird fact?
Hashtag bird fact.
Often what we like to do with or rather what we have started doing with two guests, is to help
three
us.
guests.
3 guests, actually, yes. Josh is right, 3 guests. To help us create our long form improv scene for the second part of the show, we like to base it off, instead of a random word, a bird fact.
Right.
Would you happen to have a bird fact? And if so, do not tell us, but can you send it to Josh privately?
Yes.
If you don't have a bird fact, then make one up, I suppose.
I do actually
Hashtag
have
bird-wise?
I do have a bird fact, and
Oh my
it was
God.
something I learned while interacting with said bird. So
Interesting.
It's-
Okay, so
Excellent.
that's cool because there's going to be a personal element to that. So I look forward to getting that message.
Yes.
Just
Send Josh a text or a private message with that bird fact, so that we can have bird facts part 4, which I'm really looking forward to.
okay, yeah.
Thank you. That would be. I've told Josh that I'm trying to slowly transition the entire podcast from improv to bird facts.
This is a weird coup that he's operating in broad daylight.
Yes, a chicken coup.
Well, Newt, thank you so much for being
Thanks
the
very
best
much, yeah,
guest ever.
Best guest ever.
And,
Hashtag BGE.
Exactly. And thanks so much. Everybody should follow Newt.
Yes, it was very fun to be on, and thank you for the invite.
Of course. All right. Have a good day in Japan.
Well, have a good day in America.
In Big Town.
In Big
I
Town.
haven't been, but we appreciate the same.
Yeesh.
Yes.
Ooh, brother. All right.
Cool.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Newt.
All right. Bye-bye.
There we go.
All right. Well, Jesse,
Okay. Yes, are you ready?
I think I'm ready. We need to go into the next segment, and I guess in order to bring us to that, we're gonna need the very best singers of all time.
I'm afraid so. Yes. You've heard, of course, of the Rat Pack, right?
Of course, yeah. Classic.
I did us one better. I actually got us a group that's better than the Rat Pack. The Squirrel Pack.
The Squirrel Pack?
Yes.
Don't tell me they're actual squirrels.
Well, when you listen to the Rat Pack, what was your one wish?
I wish that they were real rats.
Yeah. So let me open up this very tiny little door here. And
Oh, look.
here they
It's
come.
real squirrels.
in their little tuxedos.
Okay, and they're going to tell us what the next segment is called.
Here it
In the
comes.
song. Okay, tell us. I just want a hula hoop. All right, step right up, everyone. Step right up. It's me. I'm all you park goers. I'm a street performer. Now, I know a moment ago a very cool looking chipmunk went by, but you guys.
Do you have the chipmunk?
I don't have the chipmunk. It's just here in the park. I implore you to ignore the chipmunk because I'm about to do some tricks with 3 hula hoops.
Do you know the chipmunk?
No, I'm trying to focus on the hula hoops. I don't even really understand the question. How do you know a chipmunk?
Well, have you met him before? Does he come here a lot?
The answer
Could
is
you introduce me?
yeah. We want to meet the chipmunk. The chipmunk seems nice.
He's so dreamy.
Okay, well, okay. Well, I dropped all the hula hoops. That one lady seemed like she was attracted to the chipmunk. Am I reading that right?
I mean, I can't even blame her. Did you see that chipmunk?
Yeah, that was a hot chipmunk.
Man, I mean,
okay.
but his personality, that's what really attracts me to him.
Yeah, I agree. The chipmunk has a sexy body, but its mind is even sexier. Okay, if I could get everyone's attention real quick, I am about to do some really intense breakdancing that I've practiced for months and months just to do for free out here in the park. So here I go.
You know who's I bet is a really good breakdancer? The chipmunk.
Yeah. Is the chipmunk here to breakdance? I'm looking in every direction except at the street performer.
Man, does anyone know if the chipmunk is on Instagram?
Yeah, what's its handle? And I am doing the worm. I'm grabbing onto a pole and lifting myself up purely by my arms. Did anybody see that?
Man, look at these trees. Can you just think about it? The chipmunk might have walked on any of these.
Yeah, you're right. These are blessed trees.
Gentlemen, would you be interested in a new religion I'm founding?
Well, what is it?
It's called Chipmunkism.
Okay, everybody, please stop looking at the cultist because I'm about to juggle while rollerblading. I don't know. That's a pretty interesting cult he's talking about.
Thank you. I've got pamphlets.
Ooh. He must have known we were going to come here and talk about this today.
That's true. We're going to spread the holy word of the chipmunk.
Wow, that's really... Hey, everybody! I think that's the chipmunk!
What? Over there, look!
Yeah, it's me.
We were right to be awestruck. He can talk.
Yeah, it's a talking chipmunk.
Now, street performer, you have to admit, that kind of blows your deal out of the water.
Yeah, I shouldn't have come here today. I didn't realize there was talking animals. This is completely new territory. That's better than juggling, for sure. Worship me!
Excuse me?
Yeah?
What kind of establishment are you running here?
Is there a problem, sir?
Yes, there is a problem. I was here last week, and I stepped in a puddle and got my sock wet.
Oh, yeah, I remember it was raining last week. We encouraged all the theme park goers to bring ponchos. Did it cause you some discomfort? Is that what you're saying?
an extreme amount of discomfort, and I think the park should refund my ticket cost as well as the ticket cost for today, which since I also had to buy a ticket to get in today.
Right, just to complain to me. Wait a minute. I'm looking at you. You look really familiar. Wait a minute. I remember when you stepped in the puddle. I was there. I asked you, are you okay? And
Yes.
you said, absolutely, there's no problem at all with this situation. I seek no recompense for what has befallen me today. I remember because it was such strange wording. I remember all of it.
Yes, well, it was clearly some kind of delayed release puddle because the discomfort didn't hit me till later. So you know what? In addition to refunding the ticket costs for today and last week, I think you should also give me a season pass.
Look, sir, that's a little bit, isn't that a little bit unreasonable? I mean, the customer's always right. I'll grant you that, but you told me that the puddle was fine.
Yes, well, obviously I was under duress. The puddle was forcing me to say those things, even though I didn't really mean them.
I feel that you're grasping at straws, but look, okay, look, my manager told me to just basically do what the guests say, so I can help you with this. I am currently in the middle of delivering all these cotton candies to the stand over there, so if you'll just give me a moment and whoops, oh shoot, I dropped cotton candy all over you. It's stuck all over you. Are you okay?
It's fine. There's no problem.
Now, are you sure?
I'm completely fine. Accidents happen, and I bear no grudge or malice towards you, nor towards the establishment where you are employed.
Okay, because right now, like, if there's any problem with this, like, I understand. I would want to help you.
Not at all. Not only am I unharmed, I feel better than I did a moment ago.
All right. Well. Okay. I mean, I can help you take it off if you want. It's really stuck on you.
No, there is no need.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna run over here real quick, and I'm gonna refund your tickets. All right. Let me just ring that up on the thing. Okay, and that will be applied to your credit card. Now, is there anything else you need from me today?
Yes, you have failed in a huge way. I'm covered in cotton candy.
I know, sir. What is this delayed reaction?
How could you run a park so haphazardly that guests can just be covered in cotton candy?
They're not usually. I admitted that this was an unusual accident.
I think you should give me your firstborn son to make up for this.
Oh boy, the manager was really clear about this. Let me think about... Oh, sir, look out, that tram car is coming this way. Oh no! Beep, beep. Oh my god!
It's all right. I'm completely fine.
No, that vehicle just ran over you.
No, let me get up here and just dust myself off. I'm totally unhurt. There's no problem here.
Oh, your foot is not supposed to point that way.
Yeah, no, but I like this way better. So there's really there's no need for any kind of negative reaction.
Sir, can I say, feel free to stand up for yourself in the moment. You know, I've never sort of met someone who kind of lets people walk all over them for a bit, only to come around later and become almost unreasonably angry.
I appreciate your advice, but there's really no problem.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that. Well, anyway, it is Bring Your Kid to Work Day, so here's my boy.
I'm afraid I can't accept it. You see, I've been killed.
Hey there, buddy. Good to see you in the break room. Just grabbing some coffee.
Yeah. I'm useless without it.
Yeah. I mean, but that's not the only reason you came in here, right? You probably knew I was gonna be here.
What?
You probably knew I would be here, and you wanted to hear. Last month, I'm the pretzel guy.
Oh, that's right, Pretzel. How have you been, Pretzel?
Yes, that nickname is going to last forever.
It's true. We actually got you a new name badge.
Yes, man, I'm so glad people are still into this a full month later. Hey, you know the whole story, but do you want me to tell it to you again?
I do want you to tell it to me again, and I'd like you to do the voices this time.
Okay, well, as you recall, I walked to work and I walked past a yoga class out.
The yoga class, here it comes.
Oh, this is so delicious to me, and the instructor mistook me for one of the people in the class, and so she told me to start assuming the poses they were in. Well, I don't know any of the poses, and so I just twisted.
Hang on. I'm gonna get this next bit on a TikTok.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. Oh, boy. Right, and so I twisted myself up all crazy, and the instructor said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Pour some mustard on me, why don't you? I'm a pretzel."
Incredible. And get to the part about how you had to go to the hospital.
Oh, right. And that's the part that involves the voices. I haven't done any voices yet. So, of course...
Here comes this. Is this the squeaky voice doctor? I love it.
That's right. So the doctor said to me, "Hey, buddy, what happened to you?" And I said, "Doc, slather me up with mustard. I'm a pretzel."
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
And then the guy who denied your insurance claim?
Right. Yeah, that guy. And he had an incredibly deep voice. And he said, "Hey, buddy, that procedure where the doctor put that mustard on you, that's going to cost you $3,000. And I said, well, slather me up with mustard." Anyway, I should probably get going. I've told this story a lot. I know there's still more.
I want to hear the part about how you got evicted and being unable to pay your bill.
Yeah. People are usually good with the yoga part, but all right, well, anyway, my landlord, who has a really medium tone voice, said to me, "You haven't paid your rent. You are now homeless." And I said, "Well, you squeeze some mustard on me." I kind of didn't get it out. I sort of choked it out through tears.
And then your wife divorced you.
Yeah, right. And she said, "You're not the man I married anymore, and you are sad all the time. The only joy in your life is telling the beginning of this story." I really need to get back to work.
And then the Pope excommunicated you from the Catholic Church.
Right, as you, I guess, know already, I was homeless, and all I had left was my religion. And what were the odds that the church I went to, the Pope was there that day, and he said, "You gotta get out of the church." And that's, of course, when I said, "Wait a minute, you're not the Pope, you're a little chipmunk."
Yeah.
Said,
well, he's the Pope now.
yeah, right. That's true. Boy, that religion really took off in a big way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, in
no
the way
kidding.
that it replaced Catholicism.
Kind of like just took it over, and it's now chipmunkism. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I probably should get going. I don't work here.
This is my favorite part of the story, where you have to leave the office before security gets here.
Yes. I don't know how you heard that part because it's happening right now. Oh, great. Here comes 2 security guys. I wonder how they talk.
One of us is deep.
One of us is high. Right this way, sir.
And don't come back.
All hail the Chipmunk Pope. Oh, man. Still can't get over the fact that guy had a delayed reaction to being killed by a tram car. That really tickled me.
And I also like that that theme park was genuinely bad, because you shouldn't.
Yeah, who was the person driving the tram car? They did a hit and run in the people mover.
In a trolley, yeah.
Oh man,
Incredible.
Well, those were some fun scenes inspired by Newt Warner's story.
They were excellent scenes.
But let's see now. Newt has sent me
Uh-oh.
a
Could this
hashtag
be
bird fact. That's
Hashtag
right.
bird fact.
That's right. Ooh, it's a long one. That's good. The details are good.
Yes.
Are you ready, Jesse, for Newt Warner's bird fact?
Please share Newt Warner's bird fact.
Okay. Newt says, "My bird fact has to do with sandhill cranes." Once again, a 4th type of bird.
I like that we have not repeated birds yet.
No, not once. This is them talking. They say, while I was living in Florida, I would feed the sandhill cranes. They enjoy acorns, so you can actually see their food go down their throats. Their throats wind around their necks, so after they swallow one, you can see the acorn bump slowly make its way around its neck as it goes down its throat. If that makes sense, they say. It does. I can picture it. It's weird, but I can picture it.
It sounds like when a crane eats an acorn, it looks like he's just nervously gulped.
That's exactly what I was picturing, yeah. Newt ends this by saying, also one chased me to my car after work.
Or acorns.
Perhaps hoping for acorns, yes.
Or animals just like to jump on Newt for
it
unknown
does.
reasons.
It does seem to be the case. Okay.
A weird fact about cranes and acorns. I like it.
Yes. Okay.
All right.
Are you ready then, Jesse, for the long form narrative improv?
I believe I am, Josh.
All right. Then let's go.
Gentlemen, please, please. Enough, enough. Now, I suppose you are, or have all heard the unfortunate news that this company is running out of money.
Oh dear, oh dear. I have heard this, but to hear it from the boss's mouth is quite alarming.
Yeah, well, as you all know, I don't know how many more months we can stay in business at the current rate of we're just hemorrhaging cash. No one is buying acorns.
It's sad to say, but it's got to be said. It's true. Frankly, it's this new generation. They're just not buying acorns anymore.
I know. The price of acorns has fallen down to $30 a barrel. And if it falls any further, what will we do?
I don't know. But Mr. Withermeyer, what?
Yes.
Surely you have a plan for this, some sort of stimulus for the company. I mean, Acorn Incorporated has been in business for decades now.
Yes, my grandfather founded this company with only 2 acorns to his name. And I'll be damned if I let this company go under. That's why, Gillespie, I have indeed come up with a brilliant plan.
Oh? Well, do tell. Please, don't leave me in suspense. Leave us in suspense. As you said, gentlemen, there's many of us here.
Yes, the whole boardroom here. You, yeah. Gillespie, Franklin, Ottermeyer,
yes, hello, yes.
Von Braun, and Sarah Nafowitz.
Da.
And, but, Gillespie, you know I don't like talking to the others, and I will mainly direct my remarks to you.
That's fine, sir, that's fine.
Well, you hit the nail on the head when you said the problem is that young people aren't buying acorns.
Yes. Is there some way we can attract the younger generation to our cause?
Yes, a new ad campaign.
Oh. That's interesting, but such a campaign would need a very charismatic and likable face.
Gillespie, yet again, you've found the exact issue.
Perhaps I should be the chairman of the board.
No, because once more I have had a plan that if you would let me finish speaking, I would have said.
All right, fair enough.
Now, who is the most famous boy band in the world today?
Well, you must be talking about Inside Out.
That's right, Inside Out, full of those handsome, lovable boys who sing about modern problems.
Yes. Ever since problem pop became the most popular genre, they really fell right into that niche.
Yes, I don't like it, but my teenage daughter says that it's the best music that exists. Here, I'll play you a small sample from their most recent hit, I've Cracked My Phone Screen.
Ooh, girl, drop my phone on the ground.
It shattered.
Oh, it shattered all around.
It's nonsense to me, but the kids love it.
Yes, well, we all have phone protectors. We never experienced something like that.
Well, yes, but But I imagine that other people do.
Yeah.
So, that's why, Gillespie, I want you to go to Inside Out and bring them our offer. We'll either string this company along for a few more months and go out of business, or we take a risk, spend all of our remaining money on hiring Inside Out and doing this ad campaign, and we save the company.
Well, I'm happy to do it, Mr. Withermeyer. I only hope that they're receptive to my offer and that they're not a bunch of hooligans with wacky personalities that are difficult to wrangle.
According to this magazine I'm reading, only one of them is the bad boy, so we should be all right.
Okay, all right, that's good.
But,
that's good.
But I suppose you won't know for certain until you get there. Here is a train ticket to Chicago.
Oh, I couldn't like book a flight or something.
No,
I know the company's
we
not
couldn't
doing
afford
well.
a flight.
I mean, I could have got it my own. All right.
Good luck, Gillespie. The whole company is depending on you, and subsequently, the boy band.
Right.
Now,
Okay.
I want you to take this with you too, and but I want it back.
Okay. What is it, sir?
For good luck, this was my grandfather's #1 acorn. One of the two that he brought with him to America when he founded this company.
Wow.
The other one he planted, and it was the source of his first tree, which produced more acorns.
Wow. That's beautiful, sir. I will take care of this. Nothing will bad will ever befall this acorn. Now, I'd better go and pack for the rather long train ride I have. We of course are starting from Sacramento.
Yes, it'll take a while.
Yeah. Okay. Boss, why are the rest of us here?
Oh, yes, good point. Well, I called the rest of you in here to let you know we're letting you go.
Oh, darn it.
Sorry. Can't keep the payroll.
Mr. Withermeyer, I won't let you down.
I know you won't, Gillespie. I know you won't.
We cut to a train station in Chicago. Oh my God, my back.
Buddy, did you enjoy the train ride?
Not at all. Not at all. That was a days-long train ride. There was nowhere to sleep. I just had to sort of, balance myself on the chairs. That's all right. Are you you represent Inside Out, right?
That's right, Sam Sykes. I'm their agent. You must be Mr. Gillespie.
That's me. You can call me Todd.
Todd, good to meet you, Sam.
I don't let my boss call me that, but you can.
Well, that's very generous of you. Well, shall we head down to the recording studio?
Yes, let's go.
Okay, cool. We have to drive for another hour and a half.
Oh, God. Why? All right.
Sorry, Chicago traffic, middle of the day.
Yeah. Please tell me that this isn't your smart car.
Sorry. But it's much easier to parallel park in one of these.
And I'm 6'7".
Yeah. So, I read over your proposal. Very interesting, but do you really think that there's a future for acorns?
Well, between you and me, Sam, I never really understood this company. I mean, you can get acorns just from the ground, but apparently it's been in existence for decades, and I've really reaped the benefit of that. I just didn't ask any questions. So yes, this is going to be a hard sell to these kids.
Yeah. Let me tell you a little bit about the band because they're idiosyncratic. Okay.
Okay, but they're at the recording studio right now. I wonder if what they're each doing as they're recording their new song sort of correlates with how you describe each of them.
I never thought about it that way, Todd.
Yeah, I guess we'll never know.
Yeah. Well, you've probably read the the fan magazines, right? So you
yes.
know that Colton is the bad boy, right?
That's right. All right, you guys. Hey, you guys. We getting ready to record here or what?
His personality rubs a lot of people the wrong way, but to others, they believe they can change him with love and time.
Right. And what about Francis? Tell me about him.
Francis is the smart, cool, and aloof one. If we could get back down to business, I have another chapter of Dostoevsky to read tonight.
Yeah.
Then, of course, there's Runson.
Colton, Francis, and Runson.
Runson is the leader. He is well-rounded and stabilizes the faults of the other two.
Oh, all right, everyone. Let me invite you politely to all get to your microphones and, I'm gonna read Highlights magazine. I'm the opposite of you guys.
Yeah, and he kind of shifts back and forth between. It's not like he's simultaneously polite and stupid. He shifts between those two.
All right. Well, you took a long time explaining that. It's been about an hour and a half. Looks like we're pulling up to the studio now.
Correct. Oh, and by the way, one last thing. I don't know if you've ever heard any of their music, but their singing voices sound distinctly dissimilar from their speaking voices.
Okay. All right, yeah, I'll make note of that. Okay. Looks like...
Well, we're recording a new song right now, and it's going to be a big hit, I can tell. It's called I Stubbed My Toe.
Look.
Let's listen in.
Oh,
baby, I stubbed my toe
in all the places that I know.
Everywhere I wanna go. With you I can't because I stubbed my toe.
Oh, girl, it's so irritating when my pinky toe is really paining me.
It's a minor inconvenience, but I stubbed my toe.
I stubbed my toe.
Wow. Listen to that.
It's very different from the music I grew up with, but
Yeah,
yes.
Me too. Yeah, let's go in. Guys, another great hit. Well done. Fantastic. Sam, I have to occasionally butter up their egos. Todd.
I see.
So,
Yeah. Good call,
very
Sam.
kind. Yeah.
Yeah, of course it was a good song. What do you expect, idiot?
Perhaps the next time you speak, you could say something that isn't obvious.
I thought it was nice of you to say that.
Now, kids, you guys are doing fantastic. You're the top of the charts once again, number one in America. Problem Pop is just taking off like nobody's business, and you are leading that charge. And now, I got an interesting proposal for you.
Gentlemen, my name is Todd.
This is Mr. Todd Gillespie.
Why did I volunteer that? I'm Todd Gillespie, and I represent Acorns Incorporated, and well, we want you guys to be the faces of our new ad campaign. Yeah, of course you do.
What does your company do, Mr. Gillespie?
We sell acorns.
I think that's a good idea.
Don't you?
I have subsequent questions.
Yeah, you always have questions, but I got the important one. When you say we'll be the face of the ad, I assume you mean specifically I'll be the face, since I've been carrying these two for the past all through our last album.
Typical, Colton. Typical. You don't appreciate my musical genius.
Now, Francis, I think it's pretty well understood that I'm the leader.
'Cause I'm the best.
Brunson, I think that your constant lapses into stupidity make it difficult for you to accurately run this band.
Which is why I run this band.
I'm clearly the leader. Thank you very much.
It's me, people.
Okay, Todd.
Kids,
They're getting into a loop here. They get stuck like this for a while.
Oh no, there's real...
Tell them how much you're offering.
We can pay each of you $1 million.
We made $1 million yesterday off album sales alone. Obviously, we're successful musicians.
Okay, kids, listen. Look, I'm a little bit desperate here. You may have noticed it in my voice. I don't quite know what to say, but look, this is my boss's grandfather's first acorn. He brought this with him to start his company, and I don't know. I feel like this golden acorn has some kind of meaning to it that, I don't know. Could you find it in your hearts to plant this acorn in your hearts and let it grow into a great tree of helping me out?
Your metaphor leaves something to be desired, Mr. Gillespie.
It was a good try, though.
Because I liked it.
I don't care for that kind of poetic language.
Typical, Colton.
Francis, how come you punch yourself in the stomach before you talk every time?
It's diaphragm training. You wouldn't understand.
Well,
Sorry, Todd. I mean, if they don't say yes now, I don't see how you'll be able to convince them at any point in the future.
I guess you're right. Well, I'm gonna have to tell my boss I failed then. I guess I'll go to the hotel that I've rented one night at, spend that night there, and then get back into my 7-day train ride back to Sacramento.
Sounds unpleasant. Well, I'm sorry that it didn't work out, Todd. I tell you what, as long as you're in Chicago, maybe you should see some of our beautiful sights.
Well, yeah, okay, Sam.
And I'll tell you what. Here, have a free CD of the band's last album. Inside Out is a Problem.
Well, thank you. Yeah, maybe I'll listen to this on my ride home.
Maybe so. But then again, a lot of their songs are very similar in tone.
Yeah, I am gonna want some variety, probably by the third day at least.
Well, good luck.
All right. I'm just so sad. I guess it's time to go. And we see Gillespie leave the studio, but then the camera zooms in and we notice the acorn still sitting on the music stand.
I love these camera tricks like this.
Yeah.
Colton, let's record the song again.
All right, it is wise to have multiple takes.
And a 1, and a 2, and a 5, and a 4.
Sometimes I don't think you're dumb. I think you're some sort of Frankenstein.
No, I'm not.
All right, here we go. Back to poor Todd. It's just started to rain, and he's moping back to the hotel.
Oh boy, my socks are getting all wet. Actually, I don't mind that. I don't mind this at all. I welcome it. Oh boy.
Ring.
Hello?
My boy, it's Withermeyer. How's it going? Did you get the band to sign on?
Mr. Withermeyer, I didn't. These kids, I don't know how to talk to them, and they're so wrapped up in their petty squabbles, that I couldn't get through to them.
Listen to me. The cost of a barrel of acorns has dropped to $25. We won't be able to keep going.
It still seems like a
You've
lot
got
to
to
me.
do something.
You're right. You're right.
I'm depending on you. Depending on you. I'm not dead. I'm just on the phone.
Yeah, it's weird. I was sort of having a memory of the thing you just said. You're right. I'll think of something. Boop. You know what?
Yeah, don't say goodbye or anything. Just hang up.
I guess it's the message of the acorn. Oh no, the acorn. I don't have it anymore. Where could it be? Oh God, I must have lost it somewhere between the studio and when I visited all of Chicago's most famous landmarks, including formerly the Sears Tower and Improv Olympic. Is that still there?
Yeah, just those two. Yeah.
Thank you, passerby.
Have a Chicago slice of pizza.
Oh, right. Thank you. Oh, God. Well, I better retrace my steps.
Welcome to formerly the Sears Tower. Were you just here?
Yes, I was, and I'm angry because my socks are wet. That's all right.
Man, you changed your mind about things quite a bit.
Tell me, did you see a golden acorn here anywhere?
Ooh, I'll check the lost and found, sir. Let's see
Oh
here.
boy, I hope.
A squirrel. A sweater. No acorn here. Sorry.
Darn it. All right, well, back to Improv Olympic then.
Honk honk. Welcome back.
We are Stump Fungus. All we need from you is a word. Have you seen my acorn?
Okay, I heard, have you seen my acorn? We're now going to do a scene based on that.
We all run to the back. Boy, somehow this feels like very metatextual as I watch this.
No, sorry, no acorn here.
Darn it. But I gotta watch to the end. These guys are so funny.
Honk honk.
Then later, at the recording studio.
Guys, it's nearly midnight. Aren't you satisfied with the song yet?
No, the song isn't good because there isn't enough of me on it.
Typical Colton. Actually, the song isn't good because there's too much of you on it.
I think that you're both right, and
There isn't enough of me!
Perhaps this band is over and I should go solo.
you took the words right out of my mouth.
Them good words. I want them too!
Guess this.
Sam, did you hear that, Sam? We're breaking up the band and we're all going our separate ways. Oh no! They're all individually, they're all real bad. They'll never succeed.
Hey, everybody.
What the, Todd? Todd Gillespie?
That's right, it's me, Todd Gillespie, the man you met
man
yesterday.
Actually, just this afternoon, I believe.
Oh, yeah, right. Boy,
Man,
Todd,
you look terrible. It looks like you've walked all the length of Chicago twice.
I have. Plus, I ate 2 big slices of deep dish pizza.
Oh my gosh, Todd, what's going on?
I lost the golden acorn. Is it here somewhere?
Well, I got my own problems. The band is breaking up.
What?
And with it, my job and meal ticket.
Oh, no.
It turns out they're all... their obnoxious personalities have finally driven them apart.
Boy, there's a lot of that going around. Get a load of this guy. He lost an acorn.
Typical. He's not talented at his job, and he's also not good at finding things. Much like Colton.
It's a very good observation.
Can't find nothing.
But wait a minute. I'm having a moment of clarity. I'm staying as polite Colton slightly longer than usual. I don't...
You are, in fact, Runson, the leader of the band.
Don't. I made a mistake.
There it is.
But I wasn't wrong about having that moment of clarity. And I don't see an acorn in there, but fellas, do my eyes deceive me, or is there something sprouting out of our studio?
Now that you've mentioned it, I do notice the enormous trees sprouting out of our studio.
Yeah, it's a whole friggin' oak tree.
I must confess I'm alarmed that we didn't notice it before.
Oh my god, this is so touching and moving to me. Although I do want to stop for a moment and ask, so seems to have happened here is that I dropped my acorn while I was here, and it somehow buried itself under the floorboards of the recording studio. Then, not only did it sprout into a plant, it became a full-size oak tree within a matter of hours, and you guys didn't notice it.
I think I can explain. Remember what you said to us about how you hoped it would sprout into friendship between us and your company, or something to that effect?
Yeah, kind of.
I think your wish has acted upon the acorn and caused it to sprout, because you might notice that its branches are piercing me and Colton and Runson through the heart.
Oh no!
No, it's fine. We are not dying, as one might expect.
Yeah, what kind of phony baloney pierced through the heart is this? It's imbuing us with kindness and power.
Suddenly, I understand Colton much more. And Runson.
It's like I can feel all of your heartbeats coming through mine. Colton, you're the bad boy and you're mean to everyone because you're actually scared and you want to be loved. I guess that is kind of true, but Francis, you give off a demeanor of self-satisfaction and intelligence because you just want to be loved.
And Runson, you are constantly trying to please everyone around you, and also occasionally slip into stupidity because you just want to be loved, and you have an undiagnosed brain injury.
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine. I'm not worried about it. Guys, what say we...
This is awkward for me to say. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry too. And that makes 5 for me.
Guys, now that you're all connected by this oak tree growing through you, I've never seen you act like this before.
It's true, Mr. Sykes, and I think there's only one thing we can do. Now that we've been blessed with the heart of friendship, I think we have to keep the band together and sell out and become the spokespeople for a major corporation.
Well, is the reason that they sell acorns because they are magical, fast-growing psychic acorns? Is that...
Oh, I am like having a whole epitome here now.
That would explain a lot, wouldn't it?
It truly does. It truly does. Well, boys, this is great news. Now, all we have to do is dig this tree out of the ground and somehow load you up onto a train and get you back to Mr. Withermeyer.
Cut back to the boardroom.
7 days later.
Where is that damn Gillespie? We've only got enough capital for another 10 minutes and then the company will close.
Wait!
What the? Gillespie!
Don't close the company in 10 minutes.
What's going on?
I think I have something pretty interesting to show you in this wagon I'm pulling.
What?
Squeak, 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 squeak. Hello.
It's 3 handsome young men bound together by a vast oak tree piercing them through the heart.
Yes, this is what I was able to accomplish on my trip.
Mr. Withermeyer, we'd like to share with you the new song that we wrote on the train ride over here.
Yeah, that's right. It's called
Isn't it a shame when you're fighting with your friends and your company is about to go under?
And I think it goes a little something like those.
Oh, yeah.
Baby girl, isn't it a shame when you're fighting with your friends and your company is going under?
Your friend hasn't texted you in 2 days, and your company is doing lots of layoffs.
Are they mad at you? Did they forget about you? Is the stock market gonna rebound?
Oh, yo, girl, I know it's hard when your best friend is saying things that are kind of like, maybe they aren't mean, but you know them so well that they are kind of mean. And also, like, some of your benefits packages have been reduced.
So here's what you gotta do. Just listen to me true. Get yourself an acorn and plant it in the ground.
Plant it in the ground.
When that acorn sprouts, it'll pierce you through the heart.
And you will become one. And that's just the start.
Your company will do better 'cause you hired a boy band to advertise it.
And everyone who works there is also trees.
I hired back the entire board while you were singing the song.
We came right away, sir.
Because this company is not only going to bounce back, we are also going to become bigger than ever.
Wonderful, wonderful.
But
Wow.
I do have some sad news.
What? More sad news?
I'm afraid so. You see, I am retiring as head of this company,
Oh, no. What's
which means I need to choose a successor to take over and be the new CEO of Acorns Incorporated.
Okay, I accept.
No. No, Rumson. The honor goes to Gillespie. Or, now that you don't work for me, can I call you Todd?
I really rather you didn't.
Oh.
But, sir, this is such an honor. Wow. I'll tell you, I'm really glad that a week ago I figured out what this company actually does. So,
I mean, that one is on you. You've worked here for years.
Mr. Withermeyer, I really appreciate this. And I won't let you down.
And I'll tell you who else won't let you down. This tree with 3 people fused into it.
Although, you know, it is pretty astounding and interesting, but I kind of have lost focus on the tree people, and because I just noticed this chipmunk walked by. Did you guys all see that?
What? Oh my gosh. Turn the wagon around. Turn the wagon around. We want to see.
Yeah, you know what? My first order as new CEO is I'm closing the company, and we're all gonna worship this chipmunk now.
All hail the chipmunk.
All hail the chipmunk! Oh, brother! Oh boy, all from a hashtag bird fact.
Hashtag bird fact.
Now.
I think that was fantastic. I think we did a really good job there, Josh.
Yeah, it's the best podcast of all time. Of course we did.
And furthermore, I think this was the best episode of the best podcast of all time.
Yeah. Fuck our other episodes.
I'm sorry, but Abner, Wapner, what were we even doing?
Yeah, what was that? I wonder.
Ridiculous.
Now I wonder if the best guest ever is still here. Newt Warner? Could they still be here?
Newt, can you come back on? Oh,
I'm seeing some.
They did stay here. There we go. Welcome back. Welcome back, Newt.
Back.
What did you think? Well, thank you for joining us back again here at the end. We just want to say goodbye to our guests, with everyone who helped us get this far.
Yeah. Well, Jesse, where can people find you on the internet to tell you about how you just made the best podcast episode of all time?
Thank you. I think I did. Also, the best musical album, if you can pull those tracks and compile them together. Yes.
They're a little tricky because there are multiple keys in one song.
Yes. Well, that's problem pop. That's a hallmark of the genre. I'm on Instagram at Jesse Moriarty and on Twitter at Jesse Moriarty. And please do hunt me down there. And Josh, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at The Josh Pilt Show or on Twitter at Josh Pilt Show. Also today, if you're listening to this, the day this episode comes out, today, The Midnight Gospel premieres on Netflix. Every episode, it's a new cartoon for grown-ups from the creator of Adventure Time, and I worked on it. So watch that. Hey, the best original transition music of all time, of course, was composed and played by Steve Wilder Blumenthal of WilderBlueMusic.com, the best website of all time.
Amazing, really.
And our special guest, Newt Warner, say your handle one more time. Yes.
Thank you very much. Please check them out. And now it's time, I think, Josh.
Yes.
For the best goodbye.
The best goodbye. Newt, will you join us in the greatest goodbye?
But this is what we're going to do. We're going to say goodbye, and we want you to say goodbye with us at the same moment that we say it.
In an obnoxious way.
In the most obnoxious way you can. So, from the theme park to the regular park, to the halls of corporate America,
all the way to Big Town, and from Big Town
to your town.